You know what's funny? During the daytime, I'm fine. I'm going about my business, doing what I need to do, acting like I have it all figured out together. But then when the night comes, everyone is asleep and my brain just wakes up like it's been waiting all day for this moment. And it starts asking me questions I am not really prepared for. Questions I didn't ask for, questions I don't have answers to, questions that make me stare at the ceiling like it owes me something. And I thought, maybe, you know what, I can't be the only one. I cannot be the only person going through this alone at 2 a.m. So today we are having this conversation that most people are too afraid to start. So go ahead and grab a drink, get comfortable, because this one is going to sit with you for a while. So the first thing that hits me at 2 a.m. is this question: do I actually believe in what I believe, or was I just raised this way? And before anybody comes from me, just hear me out, okay? I grew up in a home where faith was everything. So you pray in the morning, you pray mostly at night, you go to church, you don't question the pastor, you don't question God, you just believe in whatever you are told. And I genuinely did. But somewhere along the line, late at night, this question started creeping in. If I had been born somewhere else, different, maybe in a different family, a different culture, or different country, would I even believe the same things I do believe right now? And that question really terrified me at first, because it felt like I am betraying. It felt like I was losing something. But the more I sat down with it, the more I realized asking that question doesn't mean you don't have faith. It means your faith is actually growing, or you're beginning to grow. It means you are moving from inherited belief to a chosen belief. So there's a difference between believing something because you were told to, and believing something because you wrestled with it, questioned it, and still choose to believe in it. So a lot of us have never made that transition. We are walking around with faith that was handed over to us like a school uniform. We never stop to ask, does this actually fit me? I'm not telling you to lose your faith. I'm asking you to own it, because the faith you've never questioned is a faith you've never truly chosen. The second thing that keeps me up is, are we actually making progress, or are we just getting used to suffering? So think about this honestly. The light goes off, we buy candles, the roads are bad, we learn the shortcuts, the system fails us, we find ways to survive around it, and we call that resilience. We actually celebrate it even though. But at 2 a.m. I lie down there to ask myself, when did resilience become a substitute for justice? When did we as strong people become an excuse for those in power to keep failing us? Because there's a version of resilience that is very beautiful, people refusing to give up, finding a way through impossible situations. And there's another version where we have been suffering for so long that we've started to mistake endurance for progress, where we post about the light going for 100 times and laugh about it, because if we actually don't laugh, we'll start crying. So where a new road or a new functioning hospital becomes something we celebrate like a miracle, when it should just be normal. We have lowered the bar so much that basic governance feels like a gift to us, and people in power actually know this, so they are so counting on it. They are counting on us being too tired, too distracted, and too busy surviving to demand more. And I'm not saying you should give up on hope. I'm saying stop normalizing what should never be normal in the first place. You basically deserve more than just surviving. Here's where it actually gets personal. At 2 a.m. I think about my life, like really think about it. When I was younger, I had this picture in my head, who I would have been by now, what I would have achieved, where I would have been living, how things would look like. And then I look at where I am actually, and sometimes those two pictures do match, and that really feels good. Sometimes they don't. And in that gap, in that space between who I imagined I would be and who I actually am, that's where the 2 a.m. feelings live. And I think a lot of us are living in that gap right now. Not because we failed, but because life happened, because the plans changed, because the country made it harder than it should have been, because someone let us down, or because we let ourselves down. And during the day we are fine, we push through, we keep moving, but at night the gap is still there. And I want to say something to anyone who's lying in that gap right now. You are not behind. There is no universal timeline that everyone agreed that you are somehow failing to meet. The person you imagined at 15 didn't know what you know right now. He didn't carry what you carry right now, and they did not survive what you survived right now. You are not the person you plan to be. You are someone more complicated, or more layered, more real than that plan ever accounted for. That's not failure, that's actually life. And the last thing, the one that hits the hardest, honestly, does anybody actually care about anybody else anymore? We have never been more connected in history. I can actually reach someone in another continent in seconds. I can see what thousands of people are doing right now just by picking up my phone. And yet, something feels deeply lonely about this era. We have followers but not friends. We have comments but not conversations. We have people watching our lives but nobody actually sitting with us in it. We perform for each other online and then go home to ourselves. And I think somewhere in the middle of all of this noise, genuine human connection got really quiet. The kind where someone asks you, how are you, and actually waits for the answer. The kind where you say, I'm not okay, without immediately following it up with a joke. We've gotten so good at curating ourselves that we've forgotten how to just be. And that is something that keeps me up at night, because I think people are lonelier than they are admitting. I think people are hurting in ways they are not posting about. And I also think we owe each other more honesty than we are currently given. So those are my 2 a.m. thoughts. Faith, progress, and life, and connection. I don't have all the answers, honestly. I don't have most of them. But I've learned that sitting with the question is the beginning of something real. If any of this lived in your head before today, you are not overthinking, you are not strange. You're just paying attention in the world that keeps telling you to look away. I want to know which one of these hits you the most. Which one do you think about when everyone is quiet and it's just you? Tell me in the comments. I actually read them. And if this felt like a conversation worth having, do subscribe, because there's a lot more where this came from. I'll see you in the next one.